Hey folks, it's Rosemary. I am in Wheeling at an encampment. I'm hanging out with the folks from Project Hope. I want to show you some of the things we've got going on. This is a tent. There are 3 here. And this isn't the first one we've seen today. So we're out here at an encampment, and this one seems to be vacant, at least for now. And I found a pride flag sitting in the dirt that I gave out not too long ago at our Pride Festival. It's kind of bittersweet. I remember when we had our house fire in 2010, we were homeless as a family for months and months. And it was jarring, and it was, embarrassing. I was 16 years old. I remember it like nothing else. And I don't think I would have told anybody what was going on during that time of our lives. And so I couldn't imagine reaching the point where you would tell anyone. She said somebody cut it.
Yeah, they cut the screen. Well, first they just cut the regular door, and then they cut the screen door.
They cut that the second time.
I mean, why do you think retaliation or?
We don't do anything to anybody. We literally stayed around.
Just being assholes?
To see what they can get.
Wow.
And we had a lock on our door.
At first, I kind of pulled that off.
Yeah.
We had a lock on our door.
Way.
Oh, I see a padlock there, yeah.
That was ours. That's what they did to our door.
Wow.
They went down like
Did they
this
steal
and over
anything?
and over.
Do you know?
Everything out of there.
Wow.
The tablets, the cell phone, mainly all my clothes, all the expensive stuff we had hidden in our tent.
That's unbelievable. So this is everything you have. Everything you absolutely own. To be able to see the way our most vulnerable community members live. It's upsetting, it's humbling, but it makes me even more determined to create a city where we care for and seek to help and support even our most vulnerable folks. If you care about your community, if you care about the people that surround you, you cannot pretend like you're making a difference unless you are. Community is vital. It's something I've realized we are losing. Encouraging folks to be engaged is so vital. We live in a time where folks are, I think, historically disengaged, where people feel like they are not a part of their community, that their voices either don't matter or aren't reflected in their community, which is something that I've experienced, mostly because I've lived a life that has been fraught with trauma and tragedy and experiences that have taught me that with support, anything is possible. With a community that has your back, anything can be done. So I strive to be as supportive and helpful to people in my community, whether I know them or not, whether they like me or not, which I encounter from time to time. But I realize that most people need support, so just being there is pretty vital. But I'm afraid that too few people believe that it's important. I love Wheeling. I remember distinctly one of the very first times coming into the city from Bridgeport to Wheeling Island, crossing that bridge and seeing a little sign that was rusted and bent that said, "The Friendly City." I remember seeing it as a kid, as a 16-year-old, and going, "The Friendly City, that's where I am now." And I took it to heart immediately, and I thought, you got to sink or swim. You are in high school, you are homeschooled, people think that's weird. You are trans, people think that's definitely weird. So you don't have a choice. You have to dive in, you have to make it worth it. And you're in the Friendly City, so it's possible. It's been the place where I have grown and developed my identity. And I realize now that I have built my own little niche, my own little spot, and I feel comfortable and I feel supported.
Haven't seen God around here.
Shit, right here. Like human fecal matter, yes. Yeah, smart. You're just smart. So, do we need public restrooms? I think we do. I had and still do a community organization called Ketchum Community, where we would host community-based discussions and projects in the city. And picking up litter is one of those. It's one of the easiest to organize and something people really find satisfying. This is where you see some materials of drug use. So I think the best practice, or what I've often done, is if I find something, I take a picture of it. If I don't have a sharps container, yeah, I remember where it is and I can report it to the health department. Well, that's disgusting. Especially with such potent drugs that are in the city. It's gonna all look like that. That's the plan. This is a grassroots campaign. And when you're in the grassroots, you get dirty, so. When a person who grew up in Wheeling, raising a family, working full time, can no longer afford to live in the city they grew up in, something needs to change. When we have folks at record numbers living on our streets and under our bridges without even access to basic restroom facilities after 9 p.m., something needs to change. And when my neighbor, out of work for months, finally finds a job he is capable of and that could propel him out of poverty, he doesn't apply. Because he knows our public transit system does not run after 5 p.m. When these are the stories we're hearing, something needs to change. And call me an idealist, some people do, but I believe that change is most important and most possible wherever the ground is already broken. And if you've driven on just about any street in the city of Wheeling, I don't have to explain it to you. But I'm also not naive. I totally understand that the work and the change that we want to see will require more than just one motivated person. It will necessitate an entire community determined to make a difference. And folks, that's us. That is us. And so I understand that we don't get what we don't fight for, and the friendly city is really worth fighting for. I honestly believe that the work of an elected official is about more than sitting behind a fancy nameplate or getting a flattering headline in the Sunday paper. It is an act of service and a commitment to reflecting the values of your community in the actions of your leadership. That's what this campaign is about. That's what my life has been about for years. And that is why I'm running for city council. I'm running for East Wheeling, I'm running for South Wheeling, Center Wheeling, and Mozart, because I believe and I love this city and I know what we're capable of. And I hope that you'll help me get there. Thank you.